welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Now, Brian and I love hearing from you guys, hence the video question of the week. Brian, this is cool because he's learned something in a prior episode.
That's awesome. You guys are asking some great questions. Keep them coming, and we love the fact that you're watching the shows. Let's take a look.
This is my Dodge work truck. It's got a rattle in the front end. I already learned how to check the suspension on your show, but can't seem to find the rattle. What y'all think is the best way to find it?
Well, Jake, we love it that you learned something on the show. Heck, we love it that you're watching the show. That's pretty cool. But Jake, don't overlook the obvious. We always go back to the basics here. I mean, suspension, we'll show you some inspections, but don't forget about the sway bar links. I mean, look at this. This one's wore out right here. You can see it pull down. I pulled this one off, not too many miles. Very, very common. Rattle, kind of hard to find, but breaking all the time, Brian. So is our Firebird.
That'll create a rattle all day long. You know what? I checked on the Firebird here. As soon as I put pressure up, this sway bar link fell right out in my hands. It was broken and just rattling around in there. It wasn't making a lot of noise, but there it is.
Yep, snapped right off.
Right off.
Nothing to it.
Thankfully, Moog has a problem solver for that.
I love this.
We got a new kit we can put on both sides.
And the cool part about that is you actually have the extra piece right here, so if it's not loaded up or not broken like this, you can go ahead and extend it, and everything's going to come through, and you can pull it all back together.
Makes it so much easier.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
get
going to be a
together.
piece of cake. All right.
Thank you.
Put this back in
I'll
for you.
get this going. Yep.
All right. So we put that in there. Jake, I mean, the suspension, that's awesome, but rattles, a lot of times you can use a rubber mallet. Rubber mallet's great because it makes everything vibrate. So you're just hitting everything, listening, following the vibrations here. Exhaust systems, very common rattles. The exhaust pipes, the dust shields, the heat shields on all of that stuff. You know, sway bar link, suspension, any components. Rubber mallet does a great job. Suspension checks, once again, don't be afraid to use a pry bar, man. Grab a pry bar. You got the bushings on the rack and pinion right there, the bushings on this control arm back and forth, ball joints, whatever it may be, even the sway bar links. You can wiggle and pull on that. Man, don't be afraid to tug on the suspension.
Absolutely. That was easy. We'll do that the other side. We'll get both of those torqued down. I feel really good about that repair. Thinking of suspension, tell you what, we learned a lot on that HHR project.
We did, you know, Brian, and throughout the whole show, I'm kind of wondering if the car was worth it. You're an expert when it comes to cost mitigation. What'd you find for us?
Well, when he said it came in with a slight pull to the right, I started the calculator and was keeping track through the whole thing.
This is a little better than my drawing.
There you go, yeah, a little bit. You know, that car is worth about $2,500 with some cosmetic damage to the outside, 100,000 miles. That was our starting point. If we would have paid externally to get that done, it would have been at least a $1,650 repair. Instead, with the brilliant partner we've got in RockAuto.com, we got everything we needed, spent the time in the shop. We have just under $500 into the project. We saved almost $1,200. So if you do the back of the napkin math, our vehicle still remains being a little over $2,000 in value versus an $850 vehicle if we'd have paid somebody to do that for us.
Totally worth it, and a great DIY job in the driveway. Brian, one thing though I can't live with, rusty rotors and stuff. We just put it together. We want to go ahead and drive it, give it an inspection, come back. I'm going to bring that one back into Tech Garage, man. I'm not feeling comfortable.
One step ahead. I've already ordered the calipers, rotors, and new pads for the HHR. We're set.
Well, that's a good thing. We can't do it today, folks, because we're out of time. You know, keep those Facebook, Twitter, YouTube questions, comments, and even concerns. We love to hear from you. We'll be back next week with more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com.